Each state has its own landscape, culture, and flavor, and each one even has its own nickname. Some of the meanings of those are pretty straightforward, but others require an explanation. So join us at the table to discuss Southern state nicknames. I'm Lainey.
And I'm Laura Beth, and we are Steel Magnolias, the strength of steel
With the grace of a magnolia.
We are here to have uplifting conversations about life in the South.
And we've got plenty of room at our table, so pull up a chair.
Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Magnolias podcast. We are going to talk about nicknames today, and
I know this is kind of a fun thing to dive into.
well, I love nicknames. I was mostly just LB growing up as a personal nickname. Little Bit sometimes is what I was called.
Pound cake for the LB, like a
Oh,
pound.
yeah.
You've got that
LB,
sometimes. Pound
yes.
cake.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, LBS was my maiden initials, pounds. That wasn't very fun. But there are nicknames for every state.
I know.
So we thought it would be
Some
fun.
I knew, some I didn't.
I didn't either. And some are very straightforward and some are head scratchers.
Yeah.
And still might be head scratchers even after we talk about where they came from. But some people know even just the South in general as the nickname Dixie.
Oh, true.
Lots of
Yes.
songs about Dixie,
That's
lots
very
of
true.
stories and references and
My
things.
Dixieland
There
delight.
you go. So according to the most common explanation of the name, $10 notes issued before 1860 by the Citizens Bank of New Orleans and that were used largely by French-speaking residents were imprinted with DIX, which was French for 10,
Okay.
TEN. And on the reverse side, hence the land of Dixies. That's kind of where Dixie's,
Oh.
DIX,
Never knew this.
came from, or Dixieland, which applied to Louisiana and then eventually the whole South. So
Okay.
that was, I think there's some other stories, but that was the one I saw the most. So I don't know if I've ever even looked that up. I
don't know
went
that
with
I
it.
have either.
So-
And you don't really hear it as much anymore,
Right.
I don't think, as you used to.
Right. I mean, we have a cat named Dixie.
Yes, I've known a few animals with that name.
But she was named for Dixie Carter.
That's
really,
correct.
actress on Designing Women who played Julia Sugarbaker.
Yeah.
So,
Dixie just was a more
That
fitting
just
name
fit.
than Julia.
yeah. So, all right. Also, when we do talk about these, we thought it might be fun to not only talk about the nickname for that state, where it came from, but
if we came up with our own,
What
which
if-
we didn't for every state.
right,
But,
what would that state possibly be nicknamed if it were being nicknamed today?
okay. And I even kind of went with just my own.
Oh,
I
for
guess we
sure.
all just have our own filter,
No,
but
we didn't do like a full scale poll or census on this. But yeah,
this is going to be fun because we've told y'all this before. We don't talk about what we're going to talk about live.
Right.
So this will
That's
be the
true.
first we've heard of each other.
it's true. Okay, Florida, the Sunshine State,
I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right?
abundance of sunny weather.
Yes. Subtropical and tropical climate,
Yeah.
depending on what part of the state you're in.
So what did you re-nickname it?
I did.
What did you call it?
Well, I don't want anybody to get offended by this, but I called it the Yankee Getaway State.
That's perfect. Oh my goodness.
That's more what I think of, unless you're in the Panhandle. Maybe that's got some Southern vibes,
the
but
Yankee Getaway.
it's the Yankee Getaway State.
That kind of goes with mine a
Oh,
little bit
okay.
of your explanation. I called it the split personality state
Oh, that's cute.
because some of it is very Southern in its traditions and cultures, and some of it
it's
is
so its own thing.
so its own. So
Yeah.
I just felt like it was,
And some of it's even almost more from the island, from the
Sure.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
At the base.
Yeah.
At the tip.
All
All
right.
right. Well, I think that's fair. Where do we go next? Up to Georgia?
yeah. Let's just kind of work our way around.
Okay. Georgia's the peach state.
Yes,
But it also has a couple of other nicknames.
because of its superior peaches that grow there, which are superior. So what are the other nicknames?
Yes. The others are the Goober State, which is a name for peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
Which they're even, I think, more crop. That's a bigger crop, I think, than the peaches.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay.
I mean, in the amount that they grow. And then the Empire State of the South.
Oh.
But I think of that more as just Atlanta.
Yeah.
Not really Georgia.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, because I didn't rename this one.
Now the Peach State is fitting in the sense of I lived in Atlanta on one of the over 55 streets that had Peachtree in the name.
Yes.
I was on Peachtree Memorial. But over 55 streets in Atlanta have Peachtree.
Peach or Peachtree?
Peachtree.
Wow.
In the name.
And there's probably even more with peach of some variation.
So that's so wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's definitely an influence on their culture. But
well, I love the name Peach State, and I feel like it still resonates so strongly today with the production of peaches still running rampant. And
yes.
New businesses emerging like the Peach Truck that are really embracing
true.
that sort of
It's true.
history and background.
Now, we see you, South Carolina, and we know that you produce actually even more peaches than Georgia.
Fair.
We do see you.
That's fair.
But they are the Peach State. You
They
are
are.
not. You have your own name, and we'll get to
We'll
you.
get to you in just a moment when we round that bend. All right, Alabama.
Oh,
Nicknamed the Yellowhammer State. Never heard that before in my life.
never heard that.
For their state bird. Also has a few other nicknames, though. Heart of Dixie and the Cotton State.
Yes. Which I think Heart of Dixie's cute, just based on where it sits
That
and
is
everything.
cute. Yeah. Yeah.
But now I heard something different about the Yellowhammer. This
What?
is what I read. When a company of Alabama Confederate soldiers from Huntsville arrived at Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where Nathan Bedford Forrest's troops were stationed, their brand new uniforms provided quite the contrast to the uniforms of soldiers who'd been on the battlefield for a long time.
Oh. Well, there you go.
The new cavalry troops sported bright bits of yellow cloth on their sleeves, collars, and coattails. And one of the men cried out, "Yellowhammer, Yellowhammer."
Wow. Okay.
So that greeting brought a roar of laughter from the men, and they became Alabama Yellerhammers.
I love it.
Is that true? I don't know.
That is funny. Well,
But the bird does have that
Yellow.
yellowy on the
Yeah.
feathers.
it's not full yellow, but yeah, just kind of a
kind of in the
accent of yellow.
Yes.
Well, I would rename Alabama as, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate
I bet ours are
hard pill to
similar.
swallow. I would call them the SEC powerhouse state.
Mine's close. It's to the same. Football domination state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to say.
Sigh. All right, let's go over to just next door, Mississippi,
All right.
the Magnolia State.
That's so fitting, actually, because we made a trip down and they were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Magnolias were everywhere.
Yes. So in honor of magnolia trees that grow all over the state.
It's also known as the hospitality state. Did you read that one?
No, but that's us as well.
And I thought, well, if you think about an Ole Miss tailgate
Sure.
at
Yeah.
the Grove,
Yeah.
that's hospitality.
That's funny too, because as our name of our podcast metaphorically is talking about a strong woman, the magnolia seems feminine, and I naturally think that women tend to be a lot more
Hospitable.
bent towards hospitality, not
Yeah.
necessarily all, but
Yeah.
just
yeah.
so that's funny that I feel like those even marry well together, the magnolia and hospitality.
Well, there
Well,
you go,
fun.
Mississippi.
Well, I think they do need a little bit more personalized name, although I really like those because I feel like magnolias and hospitality could be any southern state, not any southern state, but a lot of southern states. So I wanted to give them something even more unique.
Okay.
So I called them the Blues State.
Okay.
What did you rename
I
them at all?
did. So, some of the best Southern literature has come out of
Ooh.
Mississippi,
Good call.
and I called it the Storyteller State.
Oh my gosh, you win.
Isn't that
Scratch
cute?
the Blues State.
But,
Insert
and that
storyteller
even kind of
state.
goes with blues singers.
That's
They're
true.
telling a story too,
That's true.
musically.
Yes.
So whether it's lyrical or literature, it's the storyteller state.
Oh, I love that. Let's submit that to somebody that's in authority. Okay, Louisiana has a list of state names.
They do. And they are so unique that, yeah, I can see why. The Pelican State,
Yes.
I believe, is the
state bird.
and that's because of the abundance of brown pelicans found along the coast of Louisiana.
Yes.
But they're also called the Creole State, the
Yes.
Sugar State, and the Bayou State.
Yes. So, Creole being the African French language that's mostly found in South Louisiana. That's a fair statement, but that doesn't represent the whole state.
True.
So, sugar, obviously, a lot of cane production happening there. I saw that there are approximately 27,000 jobs related to cane production, and the state
Wow.
produces 20% of the sugar grown in the United States.
Wow. That's a small state.
20% of all the sugar in the U.S. coming
That's
from little
impressive.
Louisiana. I renamed them based on a lot of probably, would you say maybe the last 20-ish years of storms that they've weathered?
Oh.
I called them the state of the resilient.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's what I would re-nickname
Well,
Louisiana.
yours is more about character, and that's so good. Mine's going to seem so dumb now. But my name for Louisiana is the Culinary Glory State.
I knew yours was going to have to do with food. I like that a lot too. There is some culinary glory
It's
happening.
kind of a battle for me with South Carolina and Louisiana, but that is some culinary glory.
It is.
And I think Louisiana may win for me.
So, moving on around, we went to Mississippi, Louisiana. Let's go over to Texas.
Texas.
The Lone Star State. Do you have any other names for them, or are they just Lone Star?
I do.
Okay.
The Beef State.
Makes sense.
The Blizzard State.
I don't know about that one. I can't wait to talk about
And
that.
the Jumbo State.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, blizzard more meaning, it says blizzard. It should be tornado, I would think, right? That's the storms they get, is more of tornado.
Sure.
But anyhow, Texas's nickname pays tribute to the Lone Star flag, which was adopted after Texas became independent from Mexico in 1836.
Yes. So, the Republic of Texas would have been what they would have been called. And
And sometimes I think they still want to be called.
I know. So the star is said to represent, again, that independence as a single republic, as opposed to the Star-Spangled Banner flag of the United States. So I feel like that is a statement of,
Yeah.
we're still a Republic of Texas.
Well, my nickname for Texas kind of goes along with that theme. I called it the Our Way State.
Oh, that is so true.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of like our way or the highway.
Highway.
So they're the Our Way State.
I called them the bigger than life state. But
Okay.
I think yours actually embodies the sentiment a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thought
That
pattern.
whole don't mess with Texas thing. Like, we are our own thing. And if you don't like it, then
Yeah.
go elsewhere.
I don't know how long or how far back Don't Mess with Texas goes back, but
I have a sticker in a scrapbook from the 80s, but I don't know how long before that. It could have been 100 years old by that point. I don't know.
I was surprised that Arkansas, our next state, is called the natural state. I don't think I've heard them
I did not
referred
know
to as
that. And I will say that in my research for this, it's moving higher and higher up the list of places I want to go
you want
next.
to go see? All right.
The natural state is because of its landscape, includes forested hills, mountains, lakes, streams, farms, valleys, and fertile plains.
That's a long list of and diverse landscapes. Yes.
They also have another nickname, the Land of Opportunity.
Okay.
I had never heard that one either.
Is that from Walmart being headquartered there? I
That's
don't know.
hysterical. Apparently, Representative David Sanders introduced a bill calling for Arkansas to change the nickname from the natural state to the Land of Opportunity, citing the need to position Arkansas as something other than a vacation destination.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I don't think that went through. I think
Okay.
that was his proposal, but it's still sticks that it's the natural state.
Okay.
It's
So there
also
is
known for,
sorry.
No, that's okay. It's known for the lakes, the rivers, the hot springs. It has over 600,000 acres of lakes.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
Fisherman's dream.
Right? But I have a new nickname for it.
Okay.
And it comes from this little thing I found out about Arkansas. It's the only active diamond mine in the country.
Oh. Would have never known that either.
So if you want diamonds and you want them from the USA, they're coming from Pike County, Arkansas.
Whoa.
So I am nicknaming it the Hidden Gem State.
Perfect.
Which
I
also
love it.
kind of covers the cool beauty.
Yes.
It's a hidden gem.
that you don't hear mentioned enough. I don't think.
I know.
Well, that's way better than mine. I just called them the Sweet State. That's just a nod to their Razorbacks, but
That's cute.
I like that hidden gem. That's so
I
sweet.
know. An active diamond mine. Go Arkansas.
All right, where to next? Tennessee. How about our home state?
Oh, yeah.
The volunteer state. So we
I
first,
love our nickname.
I do too.
So much.
We first became known as the volunteer state during the War of 1812 because of our prominent role of sending 1,500 volunteer soldiers with General Andrew Jackson, a fellow Tennessean, leading the charge. Over 1,500 soldiers stepped up to the plate. This was especially true in the Battle of New Orleans, the final major battle of the war, where American troops defeated the British with overwhelming help from those helpful Tennesseans.
So good.
The nickname actually even came back kind of again after the Mexican-American War.
Yes.
I only hear 1812 mentioned, but in 1846, when the Secretary of War asked the state for 2,800 soldiers, and we sent over 30,000.
Is that not amazing?
Come on.
I know. Yeah.
So I do. I love our nickname, and I feel like the volunteer signifies kindness, compassion, and
Courage.
and
Yes.
others centered
Yes.
view or look on the situation or on life. So I don't want to re-nickname us.
I
want
didn't
us
give us
to-
another one. I like it.
Okay. I
We're
want
sticking.
us to always be others centered here and willing to help and lend a hand. So,
Well, let's go up to Kentucky,
okay.
which is known as the Bluegrass State. This is nicknamed because of a species of grass found in many of its pastures. It actually kind of has a bluish, purplish kind of
Does.
color. Those pastures support the thoroughbred horse industry, which is in the center of the state, and so that's where the bluegrass name came
Right.
from.
Yes. Not bluegrass in terms of
Music,
picking music.
which
Yeah.
I thought it was that.
I did too.
When I first heard it. Now, I did nickname this one, but it's not really my nickname. There's a slogan that is used sometimes. I know I've seen it on the car tags of Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
And it's in reference, it's like kind of in reference to both horses and bourbon. Kentucky's unbridled spirit. Get it? Like the spirit of the horse, or the bourbon being the unbridled
Yes.
spirit. So I like that name, and I called it the Unbridled Spirit State.
That's perfect because I didn't know a better way to say that as well as you did because I just called it the Bluegrass and Bourbon State. But
Okay.
that's well said.
Isn't that fun?
but that's
Unbridled Spirit State.
that's
It's
funny that
like-
we both thought it needed an expansion to
it does
include
more
not
than just the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just the equestrian bluegrass. I can't remember. Was it 90% of the
Or 95 of the world's bourbon.
comes
out of there.
Kentucky?
So
Yeah.
it needs a nod.
Show does. Okay, so that was Kentucky. It's
How
as
about,
far
I know
north
this
as
is
we go.
questionable
Maybe
if
not.
there's some that are just questionable if it's in the South, but West Virginia is
Yeah.
the mountain state.
Yes.
And it got that name because it's the only state completely within the Appalachian Mountain region.
Yes.
And its average elevation is higher than any other state east of the Mississippi.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I called it the North and South State.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it very much is to me. I think of coal mining a lot when I think of West Virginia, but
Yes.
that's not all that they are. Mountain State's great.
I like Mountain State.
Yeah.
And that's another one I'm wanting to visit. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I already mentioned I wanted to go to the Greenbrier. So if anybody has the hookup to get me a room in there cheaper, that'd be really fun at Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plug, nod, wink, wink. Okay, so Virginia is known as the Old Dominion
Yes.
or Mother of Presidents. I saw that one as well.
Yeah. And Mother of States.
Oh, Mother of States as well.
I love Mother of Presidents,
I
but
do
I have my
too.
own personal reasons for that. But yes, Old Dominion, I think, is the more official one.
Yeah.
It derives from the fact that Virginia was the first and therefore the oldest of the overseas dominions of the kings and queens of England.
Yes.
So
That's the Old
that's
Dominion.
where that came from. It's also the home of William and Mary, which was one of the earliest colleges we have.
Right.
And
Yes.
nod to the royalty there.
Right.
And
So it gets the mention of Mother of Presidents because it is the birthplace of 8 U.S. presidents.
and 4 of the first 5.
Wow.
Like, that's amazing.
Wow. So that's a
I
good.
kind of like that name.
Good
Mother of
inclusion.
Presidents. And it's just right there at the hub of everything. It's,
Yeah. And
I mean, it's Williamsburg. It's right there near D.C. They have the Pentagon. Like, that just seems like it's such the hub
It
of
is.
so much
And
of
it's-
importance.
It's so historic. I felt and sort of elite that I felt that you don't touch this sort of historical state name.
Don't go giving it something
That's like
cutesy.
renaming the Queen of England or something. Like, let's give her palace a new name. Like, I just felt like there's
I get
just
it.
certain things I'm not supposed to mess with.
So do you keep it Old Dominion, or can we go with Mother of
I
Presidents?
like Mother of Presidents.
I do too. I think that's so fun.
And it could continue to be that.
Hey,
Who knows?
Hey.
If there's other Virginians that are right now going to be rising presidents. Who knows?
It is fascinating when you think about the early formation of this country and how everything was over there. So it does kind of naturally blend that there would be a lot coming from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
The
it feels-
population wasn't as spread out, so that's going to happen.
Right.
And yeah,
It feels skewed, but then when you start thinking about it, you're going,
it's still pretty impressive.
yeah, agree.
And I've mentioned on here before, but I have a friend who's a descendant of the President John Tyler, who lives here in Franklin. And her family history is so fascinating because they were, so many of them were in Virginia politics, and so anyway, I just think all of that's
Again,
so cool.
I can't rename a state that has those sorts of like lineages
Right.
that just exist. So, yeah. Mother of Presidents it is, according to Steel Magnolia's podcast. Okay, let's see. What's next?
How about North Carolina?
Okay.
The Tar Heel State.
That's a funny one, isn't it? When you
It's so
stop and
funny,
think about
and
it.
I've heard it so much with sports from North Carolina, but yet I had never looked it up.
Me neither. I just always went with it. Never stopped to think about it.
So North Carolina was a key supplier of naval stores, the tar, pitch, and turpentine produced by their longleaf pine trees, which I do think of them as evergreens,
Yes.
pine trees, all of that.
Yes.
Bountiful, which were bountiful in their area. That tar and everything was used to coat wooden ships to prevent leaking, and the relentless black substance would, produce. Well, you know what tar? It just,
Sure.
if you see the
Sticky
roads
tar.
being
Yeah.
tarred, it's just like makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know how they're able to work
No.
pouring that stuff. Anyway, the people doing that work were often called tar boilers. And because it's such a messy thing to work with, it would end up on the feet of the workers. And so they called them Tar Heels.
Yeah.
It's also called the Old North State.
Oh,
That was
that's
another
funny.
nickname. I didn't look up the why of that, but I'm assuming it's because it's part of, it was at one kind of borderline. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you nickname it?
I mean, I thought it was actually because I've been in more parts of North Carolina, it was more the natural state to me, like natural beauty.
Yes.
As in
That's
places
totally fair.
we were describing for Arkansas. It's got one border of the state where you've got Appalachian Mountains. Your other border is coastal. So you've got even up to like the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
So to me, natural beauty from beaches to mountains.
I'd go with that. That natural beauty state.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Did you rename it?
I didn't, but I was trying to come up with the right thing to say about forestry or like big trees.
Yeah.
Because I think of their furniture industry. I think of just so often big Christmas trees will come from North Carolina. You hear of like, so I was trying to come up with something forestry related, but that's still natural beauty. Let's go with that.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so my favorite state besides Tennessee would be next on the list, South Carolina, the Palmetto State, and that refers to their state tree, commonly called the cabbage palmetto. It was added as the national flag of South Carolina after it seceded from the Union in 1861. So a palmetto remains on the present day state flag. I love that emblem.
I know.
The moon and the
Yes.
it's just a pretty flag. So I would say I see a lot of palm trees there. I love the name the Palmetto State. I also see a lot of pineapples.
Yes.
In terms of even artwork there.
Their big fountain.
Their fountain. So I don't know if you'd want to call it the Pineapple State though. That seems a little off.
That's all supposed to be from hospitality.
Sure. Yes. So maybe just stick with Palmetto as it's already on the state flag.
Yeah, we're going to have to change so much if we
have to change our flag
and Mississippi's already got hospitality, so they're going to have to duke it out.
That's so true.
As far as that goes.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that concludes.
It is a glorious state, though.
Yes. That concludes the list of.
We know that there's southern states.
There were no questions. Then we have a few stragglers that we
don't know what to do with.
We don't know what to do with these guys. So you go first, because your first one I didn't even have in my list.
Well, it is questionable, but Southern Living includes Maryland.
It's true.
Okay. One of my good friends that lives in Annapolis has said we need to come stay with her and visit and find out, is Maryland truly in the South?
Oh,
so let's do it. Let's go there.
Research trip.
In Annapolis, I mean, sailboats, come on.
Yeah.
It's time. Laura Beth, let's go to Maryland. Anyway, they're known as the Old Line State.
Okay. I've never heard that.
So according to some historians, General George Washington bestowed the name Old Line State, associating Maryland with its regular line troops, who served courageously in many Revolutionary War battles. It's also called Free State, and this name refers to the Maryland Constitution, which took effect on November 1st, 1864, and abolished slavery in the state, thereby making Maryland an officially free state. Mm-hmm. Much later, the same nickname was used in a different context by the editor of the Baltimore Sun, Hamilton Owens, in reference to prohibition. In the 1920s, Maryland refused to pass a state enforcement act to enforce prohibition.
Interesting.
So I kind of think that's a fun name.
Yes.
Free state. Because
who doesn't want to be free?
Right?
I mean, because people are going to hear that and not exactly know free in what context.
Yeah, what is freedom?
Yes.
But I do like that name.
That's good.
I didn't rename them, but I was trying to come up with something based on their largest body of water in Maryland is the Chesapeake Bay, which is so beautiful. They have nearly 50 rivers, creeks, streams, lakes, ponds, and they're on the Atlantic Ocean. So I felt like it needed something like the sailboat state or the
more coastal.
I don't know, something that has to do with the water.
Yes.
I don't know what. I didn't come up with one, but
it's the maritime state. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But Free State's cool too.
I like it. How about Missouri? Show me state.
Okay, they're in the SEC.
Yeah.
But are they in the South?
Right. But just of late. Just of late. So it's not exactly known where or how this nickname originated. The most popular story I read was regarding the nickname revolved around remarks made by the United States Congressman Willard Duncan Vandiver, who served as a member of the U.S. House Committee on Naval Affairs. Mr. Vandiver, a scholar, writer, and lecturer with a passing resemblance to Mark Twain, was speaking to Philadelphia's 5 o'clock club. Questioning the accuracy of an earlier speaker's remarks, he concluded, I come from a state that raises corn and cotton and cockleburrs and Democrats, and frothy eloquence neither convinces nor satisfies me. I'm from Missouri. You have got to show me.
Come on. Well,
So
okay.
that's what I read.
Well, what I read says it represents the character of Missourians not being gullible, unwilling to believe without adequate evidence.
Okay.
Same thing, but maybe he's where it started.
Yeah, so I would love to know if that still is standing true today. I don't know a lot of people from Missouri, like born and raised, but if you are from Missouri, I would really like to know, is there sort of this in your blood sort of show me?
I was born in the dark, but it wasn't last night.
Exactly. Is that the attitude of Missourians? I did not rename them because I'm like, I don't know how you trump the show me state.
Now, they do have some other nicknames. I don't have all of the explanations of them, but they have also been called I don't know, is it Lead State or Lead State? Because I don't know the
You don't know the backing.
The Ozark State makes sense.
Yeah.
The Mother of the West. So if they're the Mother of the West,
they're
are
not.
they in the South?
Hey,
I
you
don't
can't
know
be,
about that.
You can't be both.
The Iron Mountain State and Pennsylvania of the West. There's that West thing again.
Okay.
Not Southern.
I feel like they've just shown me that they are in the West.
Oh, and here's another one. They're also known as the Cave State because there are more than 7,300 recorded caves. But they're still second to Tennessee. So we're not called the Cave State. Did you know we had that many caves?
No.
There
That's
you go.
amazing.
I went spelunking once.
And where?
Somewhere in Tennessee. I don't know where we
Oh.
were. My youth group all went spelunking, and it was really crazy.
Wow.
Like, I can't believe how scary it was at times.
Well, I've been through Mammoth Cave, but that's up in Kentucky.
Yes, that's
That's
mammoth.
That's dark.
It's so mammoth.
Wow.
But I kind of, as an adult, have thought, like, what were those youth leaders thinking, taking us spelunking in that cave? Because it was so scary.
They probably didn't know because it was probably their first time too. Speaking as a past youth leader, I know sometimes you're all doing it for the first time.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
how about Oklahoma? Is that the last of the question?
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. That doesn't
That
feel
sounds
very
Western.
Southern. That feels like tornadoes and dust bunny. What do they call those? Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds, yes. So they're the Sooner State. Sooner is the name first applied about 6 months after the land run of 1889 to people who entered the Oklahoma District, which was unassigned lands before the designated time. So they tried to go claim land before they were told they could. The term derived from a section in the Indian Appropriation Act of March 2nd, 1889, which became known as the Sooner Clause. It stated that no person should be permitted to enter upon and occupy the land before the time designated in the President's opening proclamation, and that anyone who violated the provision would be denied a right to the land.
Well, all
So,
righty.
I don't know why you'd want to be called the Sooners, though, if that kind of sounds like people that got their hands slapped. Right?
Yeah, and it brings up that whole
Whose land is it?
taking
Yeah.
people's land thing. But, yeah. I mean, that happened in every state
Right.
in their defense, but not that that made it right.
So, Oklahoma, if you are the Sooner State and you are in the South, you need a new name.
Well,
Even
now
if
they
you're
have
not.
a couple other names, but I'm not sure we're getting better. We may be getting worse.
Oh, gosh.
The Land of the Red Man,
Not better.
which brings me to watching Peter Pan recently, and that there was a big, long warning of how horrible this cartoon is because of I think they refer to them as the red man.
Yeah.
So if we're given long warnings on cartoons
Don't call
about
your
it,
state
I'm
that.
thinking Land of the Red Man isn't going to fly.
Sure. No.
As the name. Boomer's Paradise is another name.
Okay.
Boomers is the name used for the settlers that came
Okay.
in what is now Oklahoma.
Not generation boomer, as in baby boomer.
No.
Okay.
No, long before. But the name Oklahoma, let's talk about that. Oklahoma, the name, is from two Choctaw Indian words meaning red people.
Oh, I didn't know that. But that
So,
makes sense.
If it's red people, I guess that's where Land of the Red Man came
Sure.
from, if that was the name. Now, just a couple of side note things that I looked at. They have the National Cowboy Hall of Fame
Okay.
in Oklahoma and the Will Rogers Memorial.
Oh, wow.
So because they have those things, I've got a new nickname, but it's never going to fly because it's not PC. I called it the Land of Cowboys and Indians.
That's perfect.
Because is it not? I mean,
Yeah.
we've got
Yeah.
clearly the Choctaw people.
Yes.
Then you have so much of the cowboy culture
Yeah.
that they have the National Cowboy Hall of Fame and the Will Rogers Memorial. So they're the land of the cowboys and Indians.
I like that. That's well said. All right. Well, that's our list. Even the outliers, as
We're
we
not
called
sure
them, the
if
ones
they're
we
all-
didn't know, we still tried to include all. Make everybody feel welcome because there's plenty of room at the table. So if you have a good nickname for your state, we'd love to hear it just for fun. We're just trying to have fun here.
That's right.
Bring some joy.
It's all just to make you smile.
Well, hopefully that gave y'all some laughs and giggles and just some
Put a smile on your face.
entertainment for your week. So we'll meet you back here next time. Peace be with you.
And also with y'all.